With Party For You becoming a 5-year overdue sleeper hit, hitting the top 60 on the Billboard charts, I really wanted to revisit How I'm Feeling Now, Charli XCX's underrated fourth studio record. For all the love and hype that Brat has received, even netting Charli some overdue Grammys, it would have never happened without this record. How I'm Feeling Now was released on May 15th back in 2020. Many argue that it was the original pandemic pop record, having been made in just 6 weeks. This album was unprecedented, truly a do-it-yourself effort that called on fans' input on marketing, song choices, and even the vibe of the era. There was even a documentary, Alone Together, that covered the process. I actually had reviewed this record during the lockdown, but I wanted to make a proper video for it. In this video, we'll talk about the record's conception, innovative creation process, its legacy, and then the tracks themselves. Many consider it Charli's opus, even above Brat and Pop 2, and I kinda get that. Creating How I'm Feeling Now. Charli XCX was finally getting her career back on track after leaks delayed her third record. 2019 marked the release of Charli, her self-titled record that received critical acclaim. Charli is a workaholic. She would reveal shortly after that she was working on not one, but 2 new albums for the following year. One of these was dubbed the Janet album, one inspired by the music of Janet Jackson and the 1980s, which would eventually evolve into her 2022 self-dubbed sellout record Crash. The other project evolved into what would become How I'm Feeling Now because of the pandemic. Charli herself was one of the most proactive people during the crisis. She launched a series of talks on her Instagram Live to spark conversations with her fellow artists and keep fans entertained during social distancing. I believe that these streams actually inspired the record. At one point, Charli did a DJ set for Grindr on Instagram Live where she played Come to My Party off the scrapped XCX World record. Our first inkling of the record came from a Lana Boards leak on April 3rd, ironic considering XCX World had leaked on there. Many considered this to be a prank due to details like an Elon Musk remix, Bitcoin giveaway, and banning the word taxi from promotions, but eventually Charli and Atlantic reposted this on Fuck Yeah Charli's post. April 5th saw her wipe her socials and replace her profile pic with a hole emoji, which many made memes about. The next day, 1,000 fans were invited onto a Zoom call where she formally announced the album. I was one of those fans. She'd share screenshots with producers like A.G. Cook and 100 Gex Dylan Brady on her socials and hinted at a first single, Forever. Forever was released on April 9th. 3 separate single covers were commissioned for the different platforms. The track was about her then-boyfriend Huck Kwong. It was about the moments before the pandemic, pondering if she'll still love him even if they don't make it out together. A beautiful music video was actually made using clips sent in by fans. Fan submissions were a big part of the recording process. Because of the unconventional nature of the record, Charli would prep the next single relatively quickly, asking fans which song to pick through Twitter. The song Claws was the next single. How I'm Feeling Now was innovative in the sense that we were transparently seeing an album come together in roughly a month's time. She would upload pictures of her in the studio with raw files just coming in from producers. 420 marked a big moment for longtime Angels and fans of Party For You, a unreleased track that was created around the Pop 2 era. This track was played for the first time at Nylon in Japan in 2017 and again at Pop 2 after parties. Charli herself would leak a 2-minute snippet on Reddit before confirming the song was on the track list on the 30th, which was the best birthday gift of that year for me. For the hardcore Angels, who remembers Square Garden Festival? Cause I do. It was this Minecraft concert held by 100 Gex where Charli and a few other icons in hyperpop performed to support Feeding America. Charli played a few demos from this album and even played Taxi. It's wild though that in 2025 both Minecraft and Charli are still blowing up. It was a very chaotic era in the sense that songs were being teased left and right, like anthems produced by Dylan Brady and Danielle Harl, as well as Visions and Pink Diamond. Claws would be released in full alongside a cool video where Charli was against this green screen encouraging some pretty funny edits. The video also featured a parody of the then infamous kiss between Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. Ironically enough, both of the couples are currently disbanded. The era's last single at the time, I Finally Understand, was chosen before the track list was revealed on the 13th of May, with the record being released on the 15th. How we felt then. Upon initial release, this album was universally loved by critics. It marked Charlie's highest Metacritic prior to Brat, earning love for its unique sounds, the lyrical directness of the record, and the brisk, collaborative nature of its creation. One reviewer went out of their way to call it the definitive record of its time, both the pandemic lockdown and for the world after. There was only one lukewarm review that called it something of a stopgap, but an effective one at that too. Personally, it was my favorite Charlie project of the time, and it still might actually be. The contrast between the brazen electro-clash instrumentation with Charlie's confessional and messy lyrics was cathartic. It felt like Brat for the first time, honestly. In a time where we truly thought that it could be the end, when we were confined to our bedrooms, How I'm Feeling Now asked us to dance and reminisce and make sense of the times ahead of us and behind us. It was extremely authentic because of its do-it-yourself design and lack of polish. Thematically, this felt very much like Charli rallying the angels and her friends to come together and make sense of the world at the time. It was a record that needed to be hyperpop to capture the mania and anxiety of the times we lived in. It hewed much closer to Charlie's acclaimed mixtapes. Because of that freedom away from being a proper pop rollout like Self-Titled and Crash were, Charli refers to it as Pop 2's frantic emo younger sister, which pretty much sums up the record best. Where Pop 2 was Charlie's declaration of being the future of pop, and it was very collab heavy. This one marked a coming of age for her sound as a matriarch of the genre. There was a mastery on here because it was a solo record that would further be refined into what became her mainstream revival, Brat. One thing to note is that this album was actually shortlisted for the prestigious Mercury Prize in 2020, further proof that Charlie's online love was starting to translate outside of the angels and towards industry folks. How I'm Feeling Now was named the top record of the year by Sputnik Music, one of the toughest publications critically, and it also made a lot of other year-end lists as well. While the public would come around later, I feel like How I'm Feeling Now was a turning point within the industry itself, that Charli was the moment waiting in the wings to happen. Charli would continue to promote the record, performing a few tracks for a Grubhub charity live stream. She would eventually continue work on what became Crash, releasing a collaboration with the 1975 and No Rome Spinning in March the following year. It is believed around that time that she became close with her now fiancé and co-producer George Daniel. Charli would cryptically tweet RIP Hyperpop Discuss, something that would kick up promotion for Good Ones, the lead off Crash. The era officially ended the first time when Charli finished the last of a short 3-city tour to celebrate the record. Or so we thought. How we're feeling now. Party For You remained a deep cut. It was beloved by fans, it was performed on the Crash tour, it was even used in the finale of the underrated 2023 comedy Bottoms. But in February of this year, 2025, the track went viral on TikTok, particularly the second verse of the song, not even the hook. Charli would eventually join in on the fun, even asking George to do it like she did for the Apple Dance, and slowly but surely, the track eventually made it onto Spotify's viral chart, which she thanked fans for. In April, people started sharing their takes on the Party on You portion, some of them even getting the lyrics wrong, thinking it was Party You Knew. Atlantic eventually just rolled with it and started promoting the track, leading to new peaks globally. It hit 55 here in the States at the time of recording. Seeing this song organically blossom as a ride-or-die angel who's been there since True Romance is surreal to me. I attended the Brat tour out in Austin this year, an arena date, and everybody knew the track, like front to back. This is a 5-minute song from 5 years ago, and now it's apparently a contender for Song of the Summer according to Spotify. I personally find it deeply ironic that this is a song lamenting someone who's just never gonna show up to her party. And now the general public has shown up to her party after years of her kind of just waiting in the background. Charli, the man in the song, may have never came, but the people have arrived. They're just late. Recently, a music video dropped for the song, and I think it's genius. It captures the original premise of the song cinematically and beautifully. The part where she burns down a billboard of herself is brutal because it's destroying yourself because someone won't love you back. But also, in a way, this video felt like Brat era Charli, coming down from the high, reminiscing about her past self via the camcorder images, tied with the recent "Please Don't Let It Be Over" imagery that I see on the Brat tour. It could be interpreted as a visual of the fears of a post-Brat life. Will people come to the next party that Charli throws? The answer, honestly, probably yes. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if another older track of hers goes viral soon. Charli has always been ahead of the game. One fan joked that the key to getting her old covers back might be making a song viral off each of them. But I wanted to point out that How I'm Feeling Now has so much potential, I think. I could see Anthems or Claws having a revival moment because of their sonic proximity to Brat. How I'm Feeling Now was sort of the original test run for Brat if you think about it. From a musical perspective, it's the closest musical ancestor, itself a midway between Pop 2 and Brat in terms of polish and exploration. I'm just so glad to see Party For You rise, and I hope people check out this record. And now the track by track. This record opens with Pink Diamond, an abrasive, explosive opener produced by A.G. Cook and Dijon. I couldn't help but think of Next Level Charli and some of the rougher demos of the past. So lyrically, it's about wanting to go out and party and show herself off, but she's left in the dark. She's the pink diamond. The beats are the hard edges of that metaphor. And in an interview, she revealed that the pink diamond that was given to J-Lo by Ben Affleck was the inspiration for the title. The flow to Forever, the vulnerability behind this hyperpop ballad that's washed in BJ Burden and A.G. Cook's sharp synths is just amazing. This track is a straightforward track about how she wants to be with someone even if they drift apart, cold like December. I think what makes this work is the meditative fugue state of self-assurance. She knows that it's going to end, so she has to kind of repeat it like a mantra to cope. Breakdown towards the end being a stutter if I love yous and I knows before a gentle outro. This ghost of a man still remains front and center in her mind. It's beautiful, prophetic, nostalgic, underrated. Claws is an infectious bop produced by Dylan Brady. This track captures the euphoria of loving who you're with at the time. I like is repeated often, and then she lists why she does like the sky. We're so high, roller coaster ride, diamond bright, kiss me right. One of the sickest lines. A cool callback to Unlock It. Ultimately catchy. I love the pullback on the pre-chorus because it speaks to the detachment that this partner has. The bridge is built up so well, and that outro with the punctuation, it gets me every time. 7 Years, produced by Burden and Cook, is an ode to her then relationship, the ups and downs, with the verses telling us the story. It's a couple that was built on a lie that has somehow become truth so fast that 7 years has gone by. The pre-chorus shows vulnerability, but the chorus is just so romantic and tragic in hindsight. Even if we fall apart, split two ways, continues the anxiety thread from Forever, and the lines, real sad the way our song drives me insane, feels like premonitions of an end. The outro feels like a eulogy and not a celebration. Great song though. Detonate is a track that lyrically reminded me of the writing that she'd do on Brat. Thematically, it's about being scared of heartbreak and exploding and hurting someone to protect herself. Verse 2, the melodies really just work for me, how she draws out those last words as she sings about her blues. A.G. Cook cooks with that dynamic outro that emulates a ticking detonator, sampling her vocals in the back as she laments why this man should even love her to begin with. Enemy is a BJ Burden production. This is another track about relationship anxiety, namely her boyfriend, who she might think might actually be her enemy. It plays off the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, and it's another look at her fear of intimacy. The chorus admits that he could do a little damage or cut deeper because he's the only one who sees how she really feels. I feel like this one's a predecessor of sorts, two good ones. The bridge feels like a dare. She has this bad girl veneer, but she's worried that he could break that and see her realist self. The interlude and the outro are actually snippets of a therapy session, with the closing line being, I seem to think I'm a really bad person. I finally understand it's a throwback to more garage electro-pop sounds done with palmistry. This track sees Charli finally go to therapy and understand that she's in love, but it could kill her emotionally. It's a groovy track, cool narrative turning point for Charli. C 2.0 is the sequel to Click on Self-Titled. A.G. Cook remixes the original melody into something slick, nostalgic, and shiny as Charli recontextualizes that song. Instead of it about her crew and flexing, it's about the good times and how she misses them. running through her mind like a rainbow. It almost feels like a predecessor to the So I remix on the Brat remix album, and how it takes the original, speeds it up, and paints a rosy portrait of good times long gone. Party for You, I could talk about forever. In fact, I'm gonna talk about it forever. It's the cinematic, ingenious track. I'm glad everybody's finally catching on to it. The story it paints, from the 1,000 pink balloons to the 19th of June, how Charlie has been waiting for this guy, Great Gatsby style, to show up. Verse 2 going viral made sense to me, but the questions, if you saw my tears, would you touch me, kiss me on the mouth, say you love me, why are you treating me like someone you never loved, that hits so hard because it is a universal experience that I think nearly everyone has experienced. It's about this cold rejection and apathy that you get from an ex or an old friend or someone you just really wanted to show up for you. Charlie's voice channels that sadness so well, and the amazing break of the catatonic Party on Yous as the beat builds towards her crooning "Come to my parties." That bridge where she's just breaking down, hoping that he comes to the door, her nervous energy staying even when he's somewhere far away. It's the realization that it's over. It's done, he's not coming back, you did this for nothing. It always hits me. And the little sample of the crowd at the end in the context of 2020 destroys me. She threw that in there because she missed performing and she thought that she might never do it again. An all-time Charli track. Anthems is one that I actually could see going viral one day. It's produced by Danny L. Harl and Brady. This one is Charli looking back on missing things from the old world. She's bored at home, watching TV, crying like a waterfall, terrified. She misses Anthems, late nights, her friends, New York. She knows that if she makes it through, she might be closer to us all, but it feels so far away, and verse 2's lines are just so devastating as she reiterates her fears over this killer sharp clunky beat. This was actually inspired by the movie Project X, a film that she rewatched during the pandemic. Visions is the closer and one of my favorite Charli tracks. It blossoms from this serene meditation about the darkness of her relationship before voices tell her to hold on. The chorus feels like a trip where she sees pictures in her mind of someone and her, and they just feel so right. Towards the end of the track, it explodes as the bass kicks up and this alarm clock sounding synth bleeds in, feeling like a final detonation or a wake-up call into a new world. It feeds this image of the unknown, a new situation, a new direction we don't know or understand yet. It felt very apt for the time and genius in retrospect. Overall, how I'm feeling now, an impeccable record. I argue that it should have been as successful as Brat, but it very well served to lay the foundations for Charli's future success with Brat. The creation process was innovative, transparent, nostalgic when we look back on it. I am more than happy to award this a 10 out of 10. It should have done better. I love this record, guys. Go listen to it if you haven't, please. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I planned to get this out like a week earlier, but life got in the way, and quite frankly, I just make these videos for fun. Like, it's not that serious. A shout out to my members. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and taking that extra step to become a member. A shout out to my subscribers. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay tuned for more music coverage and whatever, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It has been a slow year, guys. It has been painful. Not many new pop releases that have been ticking on my radar. It's been a drought compared to last year where I was just uploading left and right. And quite frankly, maybe it's because we need to digest music, but I cannot wait to review Miley, Lord, Marina, Addison. Like, you guys got a lot of videos coming up. So I'll see you soon.